They found the body at dawn. Constantinople, 548 AD, the Byzantine Empire. A senator, throat slit, left in an alley 3 blocks from the imperial palace like discarded trash. The 5th murder in 2 months. All powerful men, all enemies of the emperor. And all of them had visited the same woman the night before they died. Her name was Theodora, and she was the most dangerous person in the Roman world. The prefect stood in her receiving chamber, trying not to look intimidated, failing. "Your Majesty," he began carefully, "I must ask you some questions about Senator Gregorius." Theodora reclined on a couch upholstered in purple silk, the imperial color reserved for royalty. She wore it like armor. Her dark eyes studied him with the patience of a cat watching a mouse. "Ask," she said simply. "He was here 2 nights ago. You met with him privately. I meet with many people privately. I am the Empress. He's dead now. How unfortunate." Her voice carried no emotion whatsoever. "Was there something specific you wanted to know, Prefect, or are you simply here to accuse me of murder?" The prefect swallowed. Everyone knew Theodora's story, how she'd risen from nothing, an actress, a prostitute, the lowest of the low in Roman society, how she'd somehow caught the eye of Justinian, the heir to the empire, how she'd married him despite every law and custom forbidding it, how she'd become more powerful than the emperor himself. "I'm not accusing anyone," he said carefully. "I'm investigating." "Then investigate," Theodora gestured dismissively, "but do it quickly. I have an empire to run." After he left, her attendant, a silent woman named Antonina, emerged from behind a screen. "He knows," Antonina said quietly. "He suspects," Theodora corrected. "That's different. Suspicion without proof is just paranoia. And if he finds proof," Theodora smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. "Then we'll make sure he doesn't live long enough to present it." The truth was more complicated than murder. It always was. Theodora hadn't killed Senator Gregorius, but she knew who had and why, and she'd let it happen. Because 15 years ago, when she was still an actress performing in the Hippodrome, Gregorius had been one of her clients, one of the men who'd paid to use her, to humiliate her, to remind her that she was nothing. She remembered his face, his laugh, the way he treated her like she wasn't even human. Now he was dead, and she felt nothing. But the killings weren't about revenge. They were about something far more dangerous: survival. The Byzantine Empire was crumbling. Justinian knew it. Theodora knew it. The treasury was empty. The provinces were in revolt. The church was tearing itself apart over theology, and the Senate, those pompous, entitled aristocrats, were plotting to overthrow Justinian and replace him with someone more suitable, someone without a whore for a wife. Theodora had spent years building a network of spies, informants, and assassins, people who owed her everything, people who understood that loyalty to her meant survival and betrayal meant disappearance. She'd identified every senator involved in the conspiracy, 12 men, all planning to strike during the Nika riots, the massive uprising that had nearly destroyed Constantinople 6 years ago. They'd failed then because Theodora had refused to run. While Justinian and his generals panicked, she stood in the throne room and delivered the speech that saved the empire. Purple makes an excellent burial shroud, meaning I would rather die as empress than live as a fugitive. Justinian stayed. The army crushed the riots. 30,000 people died in the Hippodrome, and the conspiracy collapsed. But the conspirators hadn't given up. They'd just gone underground. Now they were moving again, and Theodora was eliminating them, one by one, quietly, efficiently, before they could eliminate her. The prefect returned 3 days later. This time he wasn't alone. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice tight, "I have evidence, a witness who saw one of your agents leaving Senator Gregorius's home the night he died." Theodora didn't move. "A witness? How convenient. And who is this witness?" "A merchant, reliable, respected." "Bribed," Theodora said flatly, "or threatened, possibly both. Who paid him, prefect? Who's really behind this investigation?" The prefect's face flushed. "No one paid. Don't insult my intelligence." Theodora stood, and suddenly the room felt smaller. "You don't think I don't know what's happening? You don't think I don't see the pattern? 5 senators dead, all of them connected, all of them part of the same network." She stepped closer. The guards behind the prefect shifted nervously. "They were planning a coup against my husband, against the empire, and you're either too stupid to see it, or you're part of it." The prefect went pale. That's treason to even suggest." "Treason is plotting to overthrow the emperor. What I'm doing is protecting him. There's a difference." She turned to her guards. "Arrest him." "On what charge?" the prefect sputtered. "Conspiracy, corruption, take your pick." Theodora's voice was ice. "You'll confess eventually. They always do."